Hi, I'm Kathie Topel, and this is Impactful Insights. And we're going to talk about project delivery for complete adoption today. So many times I hear about projects from my clients that do not deliver what the expectations were. There were budget overruns. People didn't understand what they were getting. They weren't prepared to take on the tool once it was ready for them. So what I want to do is walk through the 5 steps that I believe are critical for any project delivery, regardless of what type of tool that you use or methodology that you use, and to be successful and have complete adoption. I like to start with is identify and align as the step 1. So many times we just get going. We're in a hurry, we have lack of time, and we just get started on projects, especially when they're smaller projects. And I find that the smaller projects, it's just as important to think about what the vision is for the end deliverables, who needs to get involved, making sure that you get everyone aligned to the strategy and the direction before you kick off. The second piece of this is document and map. And it's important that you map out your direction. If it's a new process, what is the process you want to go to? Where do you want to end up? Who should get involved? What are the handoffs? And really get concreteness around it and get everyone that's going to be working with this project on the same page. The third one is design and develop, and this is the one most people are familiar with, especially from a technology team perspective. This is where if you're developing new software or solutions, you're doing the coding, you're actually doing the testing, you're working it through its paces. If you're bringing in a new application or a new tool, you're actually running it through its prototypes. So this is really where a lot of people think about the projects when we're talking about project delivery, is this particular step. Then after that, there's implement and adopt. And the adopt portion of it is the portion that is so critical, because we can implement the best solution possible. And if it isn't rolled out appropriately and we don't have buy-in appropriately, then individuals won't adopt it and use it and bring the value to the organization that they could. And the final one is feedback and improvement. As we know, with anything that we put in originally, there needs to be that loop, the feedback loop. You need to improve. It's a continuous process. It isn't something that will probably be perfect on the first day. And also, if you have an opportunity for individuals to give their feedback in, they're more accepting of it, and the adoption cycle is much better, and the transformation is also much more successful. So if we walk through these 5 steps, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard these steps before, why don't our projects work, and why aren't they adopted successfully? Well, one of the key things, especially if you're thinking about from a technology perspective, is that the business has a tendency to do the identify and align and document and map, or some version of that. And then what happens is they get the technology team involved here, and then the technology team starts to do the implementation portion of this, and the handoff back to the adoption and also this feedback loop and continuous improvement isn't actually implemented in concert of the implementation of a software package or any of the tools that might be out there. So what we like to say is that it must start at the top. Change management has to begin when your first thoughts begin and must carry on throughout the entire 5 steps. Also, what's important is that you need to include everyone in the top piece of this, into the identify and align. Do not leave the technology organization out. That so frequently happens. They need to be in this so they understand the business, they can learn, and they can think forward as far as each one of these steps and how they play into that. So it's so critical that the change management component starts at the beginning and not coming into play down here on the adopt, implement and adopt, where frequently change management is introduced into a project. And we're wondering why individuals are not wanting to adopt these projects. It's seeming as if it's being more pushed on them instead of them collaborating at the beginning and being able to take it throughout all 5 steps. When you find yourself including everyone from the beginning, what happens is you get a shared sense of risk, shared gain from everyone, and that's really where you have your delivery success. And so frequently we talk about that bridge, or there's a big gap in between the business and technology. You'll find that if you include everyone from the top, you'll bridge that gap between the two. Thank you so much for joining us on Impactful Insights here today, and I hope you can take action and start tomorrow.